Good afternoon, Whisperers, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. This is our season finale. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that years and everything else that's going on here is going to be powerful. I have to tell you. My name is Sonya LaRae. I'm your host, and I'm a lifestyle counselor, fashion psychologist, and naturopathic practitioner. It is so good to be back in our safe zone, to be bringing forth another powerful discussion. Whispers, I also have to share with you all, it seems like we just received the keys to our new studio here on Podbean. And believe it or not, we came into Podbean January of this year. And January of 2025 will be 1 year that we will be with this beautiful platform. And we so appreciate them so much. So let me just say, please take a moment to just kind of ingest everything. Can you believe, like, we've been here on Podbean almost a year come January? This is so exciting for us. It's the season finale, plus it's about to be an anniversary of celebration too. So please make sure that you subscribe to our fabulous newsletter because you want to be in the know when we will be back in our safe zone come 2026. Plus, something special is going to be taking place, and you don't want to miss it because we have some new episodes and new things that we're actually going to be launching inside of our beautiful newsletter. And it's my personal invitation to you all to come and be a part of our community, to blossom and grow with us. And there's always a live link in each and every one of our description boxes. But this is the thing. You can come over to Instagram and follow us at Whispers in a Bottle _podcast. And we have a link in our bio. You can drop us a note in the back channel and we will get back to you. And Podbean, oh my goodness, they always have our back. They put a live discussion box, a chat box in each and every one of our episodes. And because this is our season finale, we would love for you to be very active inside of the chat, dropping notes, telling me like what part of this season really resonated with you, or even how the season finale is impacting you. Because I'm telling you, this is a no holds bar conversation. I'm really bringing all of our master keys in and marrying them so beautifully. So I hope you got your proverbial keychains with you, but if you don't, trust me, go get them. I tell you all the time, don't throw them in your bag, don't put them in your backpack, have them on you. Because this season finale is impactful and it's going to be dynamic. But I like to start all of our discussions off with a clear meaning or definition. So this is not going to be any different. We're going to get the meaning or the understanding of emotional audit. Now, our discussion is about the energy audit, right? So it behooves us to really understand what emotional auditing means. So it's examining your emotions to increase self awareness and improve your overall well being. Wow. Let me give it to you again. Emotional audit means examining your emotions to increase self awareness and improve your overall well being. Whisperers, I have to tell you, today we're closing out one of the most transformative seasons, literally, that we've ever had or that we've done, in my opinion. And this entire season has been about emotional legacy, the currency that shapes our future. And from the very first episode, you realize we set the tone, we set the texture, and we even started building out what the whole escape or the scheme would look like. And the very first episode, we looked into what is emotional legacy. Are you shaping yours intentionally or are you creating one by default? And I got to tell you, Whispers, I got so many notes. Listen, this, you hear all this paper over here, right? I'm telling you, I didn't want to forget nothing. I wrote myself so many different notes to bring out that I really want to really take my time and unpack this. So, we're going to unpack how emotional legacy isn't loud, it isn't dramatic, but it runs your life quietly. And it actually dictates your self-esteem, your relationships, your reactions, your leadership, your boundaries, your identity. When you really look at that and you really take, as I tell you all, that bird's eye view, you realize that this is something that is impactful in totality of our lives. So without you even noticing, these things are really shaping and shifting in your life. So then we travel deeper, as you know. We discussed inherited beliefs and invisible limits, the patterns passed down to you, the emotional truths you didn't choose but internalized anyway. And we also stated that how those narratives have shaped your ceiling and you keep, bumping into them, how you keep crashing your head into it. I'm a tall woman. And so, sometimes you go into small spaces. I remember a friend of mine had this really little apartment. And every time I went in there, I would bump this lamp. And it was kind of low hanging. But I would, every single time, without a doubt, either coming or going, I would bump into this lamp. And it's the same thing with these invisible inherited beliefs. We keep bumping into them because they're placed in spaces and places that are not really valid for ourselves. So we explored the stories you were given, the stories you're allowed to rewrite, and we really got to see how impactful that was and really unpack a lot of the essence and the elements of it. Plus, you got the powerful master keys in that discussion. Now, if this is your first time hearing me and you haven't gotten your master keys, you need to come on back and listen to a couple of these episodes because I'm telling you, they're powerful. And you need these keys because they work in a very unique and powerful way, which you're going to hear why I give out master keys in our discussion a little bit later. So today, Whisperers, we're tying it all together in a way that becomes practical, measurable, and even, I want to say transformal. We want a transformative way of really looking at things and really kind of bringing our season, full circle. And it doesn't mean that your circle is going to be perfect. And we all know that because we discussed it before. We said that we have ebbs and flows in each of our circles, that they may have ruffles and ridges, but it is a circle. See, because emotional legacy isn't just about healing the past, it's about protecting your future. So, we're conducting an energy audit today, and we're going to look at where your emotions are costing you the most, where your energy is leaking, what dynamics are draining you, what legacy blockers are quietly shaping tomorrow. Now, those are four very distinctive areas, right? So if you missed it, let me tell you once again, we're really giving a bird's eye view and a full look into where your emotions are costing you the most, where your energy is leaking, what dynamics are draining you, what legacy blockers are quietly shaping tomorrow. See, because you can't change what you're not willing to see. Now, I tell you that we've talked about it in this season. We went in depth on that. If we're afraid to name it or we're afraid to look at it, how can we change it? Really, in all honesty, how can you change anything that you don't really acknowledge? See, this finale isn't about reflection alone. And I want to make that clear today that it's not just about reflection alone, it's about redirection. It's about stepping into the architect role of your life. Now, I can tell you, as a luxury lifestyle architect, who curates lives for C-suite executives, high-level entrepreneurs, A-listers, you know, even for even regular people in their lives where they're pivoting and changing. It's almost like having a blueprint to your house. And you decide that you want to add on a room, but you really need to look at it from a standpoint of where can I put this? Is it going to, cut off, or is it going to, that am I going to be able to do this because that's a load bearing wall? I can't just knock that wall out. Well, it's the same thing in our lives. We have to be willing to architect our lives or have that structure in our life or look at that blueprint of our life and see where we need to refine things, where we need to shore up things, or maybe even where we may need to demolish certain things. So that's how powerful this is. It's about becoming intentional with your emotional spending with the same seriousness we give to financial spending. See, because you're aware of where you spend your money or how you spend your money. You put yourself on a budget, you follow that budget. And listen, some people are so like at this point in time in our lives, everyone, I don't care if you're wealthy or if you're on public assistance, everybody is looking at their bottom line. Everybody is trying to figure out the cost effective way of living, but they don't think about the cost effective way of their emotional currency. The energy that you expel, the energy that you keep giving, the energy that you just don't have to even suffice for yourself. So your emotional energy is your currency. And today we're reviewing your statements. So come on into the auditor's office. Let's get comfortable over here. Take a sip of your mocktail. You'll thank me in the long run. So let's get into the emotional cost breakdown, because we really got to look at it from that standpoint. We really need to start, from the bottom and go up, right? Or if you want to go from the top and come down, however you look at it for yourselves, that's where you're going to place it. So when we talk about energy, most people jump straight to burnout, straight to stress, exhaustion. But emotional energy is more nuanced. And there are three major categories where people actually lose the most emotional wealth. And I don't know if you realize that or not, but I'm going to give you those three areas and I'm going to break down each one of them. So the first area that we see this emotional leak, these are the small but constant losses, that emotional leaks, right? The little things that drain you daily without you even noticing until literally you're quite empty. It's almost like having a crack in a vase. Like you put your flowers over on the side, you have this beautiful vase, but all of a sudden you come back and you realize, well, where's all this water coming from? Why is there no water? There's no water in the flowers. But you don't realize that there's a crack. You think like, oh, it just probably, I spilt it. But then all of a sudden you come back and there's no water in your vase. Your flowers are kind of withered. There's a little kind of puddle on your floor because it's slowly leaking out of that vase. It's the same thing. So, an example of this is by saying yes when your body is screaming no. And no, as we know, is a complete sentence in itself. It has a period, it doesn't even have a definition. It is finalized. Taking responsibility for others' emotions. And so many times we see that happen. And we may even speak about it with someone else that they're doing that, but not even realizing, wait a minute, I'm guilty of it my own self. Then there's mentally replaying conversations, trying to fix what can't be fixed, the overthinking your worth. See, emotional leaks, whisperers, feel subtle. They feel very subtle. But over time, they become catastrophic. Because you realize that when something is so subtle and it's little by little, it wears away on things. It whittles it away so effortlessly that you don't even realize that you are standing on like a little corner, that you only have your toes that you're trying to hold on and not fall over the side. So, the second area that we would have to pay attention to is that draining dynamics. Now, draining dynamics are high cost interactions and one sided relationships, being the family fixer, the strong friend, the emotional vault, environments where you can't be honest. You're kind of there, but you're not there. People who take without replenishing, they're constantly taking from you, but they never pour back in, or they never make real deposits back in to your friendship. These aren't small leaks. These are full emotional withdrawals. And I need you to realize that, because every time you walk into these dynamics or this kind of dynamics, your energy depreciates fast. I tell people all the time that I'm really a protector of my energy. And this week, I've really had like some major impacts to me, some real heavy things that have happened. And I have to tell you, because of me being in that space and place where I deal with a lot of energy, I give a lot of myself. It requires of me to protect my energy, but also it requires of me to reset my energy. So everything that was happening, different things that have taken place, literally, I had to go and place myself into a safe space and even just let myself go to sleep, to go to bed, so my energy could be protected, it could be refueled, it could be refocused, and I can wake up and be full and engaged and be really Sonya, the person that all of you know, all of my clients know. But see, I'm aware of it. I'm aware of that draining dynamics. I'm aware of all these things. Because, see, I am aware of how to do a full energy audit. That's why this season and this finale is so important. So you know when to step in and step back and recharge and allow yourself the dignity and grace to refuel. But see, it also means it's another area that you got to look at too. And this is the legacy blockers. See, these are the beliefs and emotional habits that sabotage your future that you want to build, that YOU want to build. So many people even ask me when I say this, well, Sonya, what are legacy blockers? Well, some of those legacy blockers or those beliefs could be I have to struggle to deserve peace or get to receive the desired peace that I want. I'm responsible for keeping the family stable or keeping the family all together or keeping the family's secrets. Let's put that out there. I can't make people uncomfortable. I can't turn people down. Oh, if I say no, what are they going to do? And then the biggest one is that success means sacrificing yourself. Success means just giving in and not allowing yourself a moment to reset, to pause, or to even think about the bigger picture. See, legacy blockers shape behaviors you don't even question. And the truth is, your emotional legacy is built through your emotional decisions. And not the big ones, actually, whispers. It's literally your daily ones. It's the ones that come across your doorstep every single day. It's the ones that come and knock on your door, tap on your phone, meaning like send you a text message, creep into your DMs. These are all the things that are your legacy blockers. How many times have you taken in your day to just sit there and scroll aimlessly at social media and then put into your mind and your heart, oh, I wish I need to do this. I need to be better. I got to do, and this person is doing that. Why can't it come to me? Oh, pause. Pause. you are placing that as a legacy blocker. You are taking away the micro wins, the accomplishments, the stepping stones, all of the trajectory that you had, you just threw it in the trash. That's how powerful this is. See, once you see where the cost is showing up, you can change that investment. You can change the investment. So let's step into the energy audit process. And this is where you begin to confront your own emotional spending habits, even. So I want you to imagine your emotional energy as like your bank account, okay? So let's set this up that you've just come to Whispers in a Bottle banking. Welcome in, everyone. This is your bank account. So now you have your ledger and you have your account. And each interaction, the choice, the habits, the thoughts is either a deposit or a withdrawal. Okay? We got that? Perfect. So let's walk through your audit and what steps you'll have to take little by little. And each one we're going to go one at a time. So, first and foremost, I want you to identify your emotional withdrawals, meaning you'll need to ask yourself, oh, here we go, introspective questions. You know how I do love to give you all introspective questions. You need to ask yourself, who or what leaves me emotionally worse than when I entered? Who or what? Now, notice that question is a who or what. Because sometimes when we go right into this, we automatically going to put a name to, oh, this person, this person does. It may not be a person at all. But this is the other thing. Who or what leaves me emotionally worse than when I entered? Are you the culprit? Are you the culprit? So does your name need to go there? Does your voice need to go there? Because see, when we're being honest and we're really identifying our emotional withdrawals, are we the ones that are withdrawing the most? This is a question you must answer honestly. And you cannot allow yourself to filter it or to even soften it even. So that means you need to name what it is, who it is, the situations, the obligations, the expectations. Because see, if it's you, is it realistic expectation? Or is it a phallic expectation? Is it a task that you have just tied around your neck like a lodestone? Is it a limited belief that is actually drawing you away? Or maybe it's the environment that you put yourself into. See, Whisperers, that's how powerful this audit is. That's how dynamic this audit is. See, because if it is draining to you, then you must put it on your list. And if you notice that your name is on this list, that means self-auditing is necessary. Self-auditing is key. So we have the first area that we're looking at, right? Which is identify your emotional withdrawals. So you have a second area that I want you to peer into as well. And the second area is that you have to identify your emotional deposits. Who or what replenishes you? See, this often exposes another truth. Many people can't even name emotional deposits because they've never allowed themselves to even have any. And this is where the audit becomes transformational. Because, see, sometimes we are so used to being the ones that are pouring out, constantly giving of ourselves. but many times we don't allow others to replenish us. Now, I have to tell you, I have a powerful circle and I have a dynamic, group around me and close friends, close associates, family members. And even how after I do my show, I want to hear their thoughts, want to hear their opinions. What did you think about the show? How did you feel about it? Because, see, that is rejuvenating me. That is pouring back into myself. These are the emotional deposits that make and uplift Sonya LaRae. These are the emotional deposits that come in and charge me up, soup me up, that I can get ready to start producing a season 12. You realize it's got to be something, because for me to sit behind this microphone every single week, come in with the same energy, same bravado, same like, yes, whispers, we can do this, we can achieve this, get your master keys, let's go. I have to have the right deposits that are being placed in me. But you realize the right deposits started from a young age also from me. Because, see, they placed those deposits into my reserve. See, and I can identify that. I can identify the reserve that has been placed in my life that is so abundant, so rich. Whispers, sometimes things touch me because I am in a place of constantly being in that gratitude and understanding the emotional legacies that I have and what I hope that you all understand and what you're building even. Because sometimes our legacies look different. And sometimes even the legacy that has been placed in you looks different. But see, sometimes we have to realize that that legacy that is fueling us means that we even got a legacy where I will not quit. I will not stop. I will not go back to what that was. And that is what fuels you. That was what deposited in you. That is passion. That is pure passion. And you may not realize it because you are not looking at it to identify your emotional deposits. But you realize that if we have to identify your emotional withdrawals, and then we have to identify your emotional deposits, we have to be willing to also identify emotional maintenance cost. Now this one. These are the things you want to keep in your life, but they require boundaries, communication, emotional tools, or support to function well. So these are the elements that you have to have in there. This is the equipment that you need to have in there. And you don't remove these, you regulate them. So let me just say, this is what it would require. It would require of you to identify emotional interest charges. Now, we're looking at it from this standpoint. We have to identify our emotional interest charges. So we would understand that these are emotional decisions that cost you more later. These are the things that cost you more later. So when we're thinking about it, that it requires our boundaries, our communication, our emotional tools, and support, these are the things that we really have to start to look at. So these are the things that would cost us later: avoiding a hard conversation. So that means that we have to get our communication skills right. We have to tap into the tools so we know how to effectively communicate. Suppressing emotions. So it also requires that we have to have our emotional tools fortified. We have to have self-assurance that we are going to communicate our needs, our wants, and our boundaries correctly. Staying in situations out of guilt. Guilt. Now, first and foremost, nothing good comes out of guilt. Nothing. Once you have been found guilty in a court of law, what's the sentence? You either get Your sentence is that you got community service, which is still going to be paid out, and you got to pay restitution. You've been sentenced to X amount of time in jail. You're going to do your time in jail, and you may get, good behavior depending, or you may get added time because your behavior, you had to go in there and really tag down and try to get yourself right. But then there's also a point in place that you may be sentenced for life. See, these are the things that guilt weighs in on. So are you labeling yourself and are you placing yourself under a sentence that you cannot get out from under? That you have to really start to identify your emotional maintenance cost. Are you shoring up your mindset? Are you shoring up your heart? Are you removing the baggage that is making you feel guilty? And sometimes it means just forgiving YOU. See, these decisions create emotional debt. And debt is passed down. That's how emotional legacy works. And we learned that throughout our whole season. Our whole season, we have been learning this. We have been really building on it. So, Whisperers, with having this type of clarity, I think this is like an excellent space to introduce our master keys. Did you really think we were going to get through a discussion and I was not going to give you some master keys? Well, you must not know me very well. But let me tell you, for everyone that's just listening in or just coming into this space, the reason why I give out master keys in all of my discussions. See, these master keys are powerful because they allow you to open up the hallways, the corridors, and the secret compartments of your heart and your mind. And notice I said secret, because when we're weighing into this space and place of energy audits, that is a secret place that only you know of. That's only a private discussion that you are familiar with. But let me also give you something else that these master keys, how they work congruently. See, they allow you to shut off that inner and outer noise that keep you from stepping over, stepping up, stepping into your purpose, removing the blocks, removing the guilt, removing anything that is not allowing you to raise the vibration and audit, pivot, and change your energy. Now that's how powerful these master keys are. That's how powerful the master keys have been throughout our full season, Whispers. I'm telling you, I love it. I love being in our space. So with that being said, let me get into our first master key. Our first master key is emotional honesty. Tell the truth about your capacity. Wow. First master key. First master key came in hot. See, you cannot build a healthy legacy on emotional lies, meaning that you have to stop pretending. I even said this in my discussion yesterday with regards to stress. And if you missed that, please feel free to, ask me for the link to that discussion. It's on Noon Vibe. I do the Noon Vibe edition for Whispers in a Bottle every Thursday. We just wrapped our season over there. It was about stress. But the one thing I said in there was this: we have got to stop fining ourselves to death. Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. Who are you lying to? Yourself? Everybody else sees that you're not fine. That's why they keep asking you, are you okay? Are you all right? They know you're not fine, but you keep lying to yourself and saying, oh, I'm fine. That you can carry it all. These are the things that you have to stop pretending. That you don't need help. That you're not hurting. That the relationship is working. Oh, my relationship is fine. And it's crumbling. Everybody can tell that you and partner X, Y, and Z are not happy. It's actually on a boat with a big hole in the middle of it, but you keep trying to bail out the water with a teaspoon. Everybody can see it. See, emotional honesty is the doorway to emotional freedom, because you can't shift what you refuse to even acknowledge, Whispers. And the moment you tell the truth, right? It always says the truth will set you free. Once you tell the truth, your real truth comes in and steps in and just shines beautifully. See, your emotional legacy begins with that recalibration. And sometimes that's what we need. We need to recalibrate ourselves. We need to step back and do that audit so we can show up and show out in the way that we know we are able to do. But you realize that if we are emotionally honest, that means we tell the truth about our capacity. It means that we would have to say that our second master key is boundaries are emotional wealth protection. Whew. Now, yes, let me tell you, this is like your security system of all security systems. See, emotionally wealthy people are not people who have more energy. That's something I want you to realize. Emotionally healthy people or emotionally wealthy people are not people that have more energy. They're people who protect their energy that they have. What do you hear me tell you? What do you hear me say? And you know I am emotionally wealthy. I'm abundantly wealthy in my emotions. See, a boundary is not a wall, it's a filter. It filtrates everything. So many of you all have water systems in your house, and some of you all, like for myself, we have spring water that we get brought in. So it's already filtered, it has a filter on there too. Even there's any particle or anything like that, it gets caught. So you know the filter really kind of gets out the yuck and the mire. And it's the same thing for ourselves. So it's like the right things in and keeps the harmful things out. That's how the easiest way to say it. So it means that you have to have boundaries around your emotions. You have to have and be willing to have boundaries around your energy, your generosity, your peace. Do you realize that if you don't have boundaries around your peace, people will run your peace down into the hole and you will have stress, anxiety, and no peace whatsoever? You have to be willing to have boundaries around your expectations, your internal dialogues. Now, this is the place and space that we got to talk into for a second, Whispers. That internal dialogue. Remember that I always tell you that we can either speak life over ourselves or we can speak death over ourselves. Now, I say this all the time. You know, the power of self-talk that I gave a couple of years ago, that vibrates and it registers at such a high decimal every time. And it's one of my biggest episodes and one of my most successful downloaded episodes, even because so many people struggle in this space and place. The way that they speak into themselves. See, that's something that you got to harness. And sometimes it means that you even have to write yourself a little reminder on a sticky note and place it on your mirror. Put it on the front of your screensaver. I will speak life over myself. I will speak positivity in myself. I am worthy of all good things that are spoken unto me by me. Sometimes you have to resonate and vibrate at a higher decimal when it comes to the internal dialogue that you are having with yourself. Stop calling yourself stupid. Stop telling yourself you're uneducated. Stop telling yourself, oh, I don't speak correctly. Oh, you are who you are. You are beautifully created. You may need to just refine. And you can say that to yourself in a sweet, loving manner. You know what? Girl, you are doing so good, but we got to refine ourselves so we can be all that in a bag of chips. Or I have to refine myself because I'm going to be the best gentleman on this block. I'm going to be the best person to myself, that I'm going to be quality. I'm going to give quality from the depths of my soul. See, the dialogue that we have internally can make you or it can break you. That's how powerful this is, Whispers. I told you, I'm ripping all the curtains open. I'm uprooting all the roots and everything else so we can really harness this whole thing. Because the energy audit requires some lifting on our part, requires that we fall in line with certain things. You hear these areas of importance because a legacy cannot thrive without emotional governance. Now, let that hit you for a second. So, while you're thinking on that, let me give you a third master key. Here the paper, because I got notes. The third master key is this: rewrite the pattern. Don't pass down what you're trying to heal from. Woo! Where did that register? Where did that hit you? Was it in your heart? Was it in your throat? Was it in your gut? Where'd you feel it? Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it, Whispers. See, Whispers, this is the heart of emotional legacy. Healing isn't just about you. It is literally about your future. If you keep responding the same way, if you keep overgiving the same way, if you keep self-sacrificing the same way, if you keep avoiding the same way, nothing changes. Nothing is honored and nothing is protected. You only break generational cycles by making different emotional decisions consistently. It takes consistency on our part. See, Whisperers, your emotional legacy is shaped by the vision of you that you choose today, not the vision where, let me say it like this. It's literally the legacy that we have, or the legacy that we're choosing. It is done by us daily, every single day, every day upon the hour. It is done like that. But not the vision you were raised to be, not that vision that you were raised to be, not that, we don't do that. We are not about that. Well, who said you were not that at all? We get to choose. And sometimes that simply means breaking old habits, breaking old traditions, breaking old thoughts, breaking habits that have been passed. Oh, we're in this family, the ladies don't. No, pardon. In your day, in your age, yes, that's true. I agree with you, but no, we rolling forward. We rolling forward. We placing all good intention and all power into my corner, and I am moving this forward. See, this master key requires courage on our part. It requires self-awareness. It also requires self-compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves. For YOU, for me, for you. But Whispers, as I'm saying that, also it requires a decision to stop living in emotional inheritance and start by living by emotional intention. So, meaning this, we consciously have to be willing to choose how we want to feel and setting a mental, emotional focus to guide our actions, to guide our pathways, right? Rather than just reacting. We want to be in that space and place of always being in a space where we can choose how our actions are going to show up, how our actions are not going to lead us to react in such a negative tone, negative manner. Oh, my family, we're a bunch of fighters. We fight. No, no, no. See, this allows you to even create inner balance and purpose. See, because we're shifting, we're resetting things, we're auditing. In an audit, we get rid of things that are not serving us or just out of date or just, look, eat this. This expired in 2002. What year is this? 2025. We almost enter in 2026. Now, you would not put nothing that expired in 2002 in your mouth. But you will put old habits from 2002 in your mouth and in your hands and in your heart and in your mind in 2025, almost about to be 2026. Now you do the math. Because to me, the math is not mathing. See, Whispers, you see how powerful this season has been. And all the master keys that we've received, even. You know, before I give you even my closing statements for this season, I want to say that this season brought out such powerful feelings and discussions here on Whispers in a Bottle. It brought out a lot of powerful discussions in a lot of my sessions with clients, business associates, friends, and even being able to sit in this space and place like this is just powerful. And I've had the pleasure of being part of all of this. And Whispers, we are in a season of change. We are in a season of change. Now, I'll say that 2026 is about change and growth for me. It's about change and growth. And I always tell you all that I always sit and I look at myself, and every year I kind of shift and I do an audit and I look over things that I've either accomplished or what I've done or things that have happened within our year and everything. And 2026 is about that change and it's about that growth. But it's also about getting back to basics for me. It's a new era for me. And that's what I have even placed out there. I've placed in some of my posts, different discussions that I have. It's a new era for Sonya LaRae. It's stepping out more and being front and center. And this season has been about moving forward. So let me ask you, how will you move forward in the new year? What are you willing to move forward to or even audit or release that is no longer serving you? No longer who you are or who you want to be or where you want to go. How are you moving? What is the audit, the pivot, the change that you will call forth upon yourself? So I always love being able to come into our safe zone and to birth such beautiful discussions as these. I always tell you I save some of our broadcasting notes to the end of our show. So I want to say don't forget to subscribe to our fabulous newsletter, The Whispers Exchange. We have, like I said in the top of the hour, that we have some new and exciting things coming into 2026, big changes. And you know what? I don't want you all to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to be a part of our community. We're building a beautiful community on as Whisperers. And I want to do some things that are going to shift the world of podcasting, even. So you're going to hear some things that I'm thinking, what I'm bringing forward, even for Whispers in a Bottle come 2026. Remember to give us a follow on Instagram at whispers in a bottle _podcast. We have a few exciting things that are going to be airing on IG, on our Instagram page in 2026. And also follow our main page, which is at La Paz, that's LAPAZ. Luxury Lifestyle Architect. And I tell you guys, if you're not following me on my company page, you got to. I got some really great things. I got some tips that will help you even. We're shifting and pivoting in dynamic ways. So I'm telling you, 2026 is big. It's big. So if you'd like to work with me or, have me on your show or even book me as a speaker for one of your dynamic events or MC, please feel free to tap into my fabulous publicist. His name is Trey Bump, and you can reach him at info at whispersinabottlepodcast.com. So let me say this in closing. Uh, as we end this fabulous season, I want you to really I want you to kind of sit back for a second and really hear me clearly. I want you to really take note of this, Whispers. You're not a product of your emotional past. You are not a product of your emotional past. I don't care how many times you have to say it over and over again. But you are a designer of your emotional future. And this season gave you the tools to really be that architect. It gave you the vocabulary, it gave you the awareness, it gave you the insight, and it gave you, most importantly, the permission. You now understand emotional inheritance. You understand invisible limits. You understand what drains you, what shapes you, what leaks you, what gives you energy, what takes your energy, what blocks your legacy, what removes your legacy. You know it now. You can identify it, you can see it, you can name it, you can touch it, you can feel it. That's what this season has done. You know it, and you have your master keys to help you. Do not put those keys in the bottom of your bag. Do not throw those keys in your backpack. Do not put them in the bottom of your pocket where you got all the coin and all the lint and everything else. Keep them in your hand. Keep them in your hand. Because see, when those trials come up, you can't go fumbling and bumbling. You need to be able to have access right then and there. But see, Whispers, awareness without action changes nothing. So be willing to do the heavy lifting. Be willing to honor the boundaries. Be willing to make no a complete sentence with no need to even give explanation, definition, or even a well at the end of it. So as we close our season out, this has been a powerful season 11. I want you to step into a commitment. Not a commitment with me, but a commitment with yourself. A commitment that states, I will no longer spend my emotional energy on anything that bankrupts my future. Commit to it. Say it as often as you need to. Come back is at the 54:23 moment. 54:23. If you need to put it on repeat, put it on repeat. I don't care how many times you have to say it to yourself, make that commitment. See, this is your moment. This is your turning point, and this is your shift. This is where the healing stops being conceptual, but now becomes intentional. So, intentional means that it's with a purpose, whisperers. It's with a true purpose. Whispers, I cannot begin to say how proud I am of you. And the journey you've been willing to take this season with me has been just so appreciated. I appreciate you all so much. I appreciate you all showing up, giving your life seconds to me, spending the time with me, allowing me to birth these discussions and pour out freely to you all. I look forward to us coming back into our safe zone right here in the Whisperers Lounge. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter so you know when we're coming back on air. Now, I could tell you, but I won't. I love cliffhangers. But we will be back here in our safe zone every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, God willing, and be able to birth another fabulous season. We'll be in season 12, and we'll also be celebrating 1 year of being here on Podbean. So, with that being said, Whisperers, you have been listening to Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, a clear voice amongst the noise. My name is Sonya LaRae. I'm a lifestyle counselor, fashion psychologist, and naturopathic practitioner, but I'm always honored to say that I am your host. Be safe, Whisperers, and I look forward to welcoming all of you back into our safe zone come January 2026. All right, guys, be safe. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the year. I'll talk to you later.